The sheer amount of unexplored ocean is absolutely mind-blowing. Thanks to advancements in underwater technology, we're constantly uncovering new and bizarre things. And as that tech improves, the discoveries will only get wilder. Today, we're diving into some of the rarest and most terrifying finds ever recorded. Here are 15 of the most horrifying deep-sea creatures you've probably never seen before. Number 15. Pacific football fish. A beach walker was shocked to find a rarely seen fish with a freaky-looking body shaped like a football washed up at a California beach. This spooky fish is completely black and has extremely sharp, pointy teeth. It is said the creature is most likely a female Pacific football fish, one of the more than 200 species of anglerfish around the world. Normally found thousands of feet deep in the ocean, these deep-sea anglerfish are found at depths of more than 3,000 feet. To see an actual anglerfish intact is extremely rare, and it's unknown how or why the fish ended up on the shore. Female football fish can grow up to 24 inches long, but males only grow to be about an inch long, so this is clearly a female. The male's main purpose is to help females reproduce. The fascinating fish has a bulb on its head that emits light to attract prey. Males latch onto the female with their teeth and become parasites, eventually getting absorbed into the female until nothing is left of their form but their testes for reproduction. No one knows how or why the strange fish washed ashore, but it's crazy how much there still is to be learned from our vast oceans. This is one fish we're glad is only found deep enough that we can't run into them in the darkness. Number 14. Pompei Worm. The Pompei worms are mysterious animals that are only found on the surface of active chimneys. Their name refers to the ancient Roman city of Pompeii, which was destroyed by ash raining down from an eruption of the large volcano just miles away. Instead of being devastated by volcanic conditions, these worms thrive in the scalding hot waters at deep-sea vents. The worms are constantly slipping in and out of their tubes, using red-orange tentacle-like gills. They get minerals from the hot vent and then pop out of their tubes to access more oxygen concentrations in the cooler waters surrounding the vents. They share their tube dwellings with a variety of other organisms. On their own, these worms can only tolerate temperatures up to 55 degrees Celsius, but their coating redistributes the heat to keep the worm cool. The bacteria not only help regulate the temperature of the worm, but also break down minerals from the vent to help their host. How these worms may benefit from these lodgers is still unknown. Number 13. Big red jelly. Like a big red spaceship cruising the ocean depths, these jellyfish are truly otherworldly. Despite its large size, scientists didn't encounter it until 1993. These giant jellies are found between 600 and 2,100 meters, and the bell can reach up to 1 meter across. The fact that scientists could miss something so large and with such a wide range suggests that many more secrets await us in the deep sea. Biologists are slowly gaining a better understanding of how and why the jellies evolved. Needless to say, fossils of jellies are few and far between. The evidence now suggests that jellies are an ancient life form hundreds of millions of years old, but many questions remain. For example, the jellies are typically classified into two types, those with tentacles and those without. There are still so many unanswered questions about this jelly. What does it eat? Who are its predators? How does it mate? We have an idea of where it lives and continue to document sightings, but there's still much to learn about its role in the ecosystem. The discovery of the big red jelly was the result of dedication, luck, and careful use of technology. What marine researchers know for certain is that the jellies they've discovered so far represent only a small part of what's out there. Number 12. Whiplash Squid. Not only does this creature have an amazing name, it's also magnificent, magical, and marvelous looking. This whiplash squid is very mesmerizing. Known as whiplash squid for their distinctive long, retractable tentacles, they're relatively common species occurring throughout the tropical and warm temperate Atlantic Ocean. They're known for their long tentacles with microscopic suckers and a large fin that helps them hover above the ocean floor. As they grow, they move deeper into the water column, from 200 to 600 meters or 1,000 to 1,500 meters, possibly to avoid being eaten by whales. They often swim in a head-down position with their two long tentacles close to the bottom of the seafloor, using their large fins to maintain position. Their diet is known to consist mainly of small crustaceans. The red color is an adaptation that many deep-sea creatures use to avoid being seen by predators. When living at a depth where only blue light penetrates, being red means no blue light is reflected but instead absorbed, making them very difficult to see. Unless, of course, that predator can generate its own red light, which some fish with bioorgans called photophores can. Even though they live in almost darkness, they can change color from red to white and back again, possibly as a means of communication between squid or as a way to confuse predators. Sadly, like many creatures of the deep, not much is known about this species because of its hard-to-reach deep-water habitat. It remains a true strange and little-known creature of the deep. Number 11. Frilled shark. The frilled shark is one of the shark world's most unique species. Frilled sharks are active predators and may lunge at potential prey, swallowing it whole even if it is quite huge. The typical swimming style, however, is eel-like, as they swim in a serpentine fashion. The preferred prey of the frilled shark is squid. The frilled shark's mouth is just as terrifying as a great white's. It has 25 rows of backward-facing, trident-shaped teeth, 300 of them, so at least it's not 301 because that would be too dangerous, right? Honestly, we wouldn't want to run into this even if it had no teeth. The teeth are constructed for grasping, and from their odd shape and sharpness, it seemed as if nothing that once came within their reach could escape. Though they specialize in squids, frilled sharks are known to eat a variety of fish and also other sharks. No one has ever observed the frilled shark hunting, but scientists believe that it uses its fins to launch itself at its next victim. Its long jaws may allow the animal to gape extra wide and take in prey half as long as its body. The frilled shark's diet is 61% squid, 11% octopus and smaller fish, and occasionally even other sharks. Scientists theorize that the massive length has something to do with the shark's cold, deep-sea habitat. Little is known about the population trends of the sharks, but they're rarely encountered by people and are very rare in some places. They're accidentally caught as bycatch in fisheries targeting other species, and in some cases, they may be kept and used as food. No fisheries specifically target frilled sharks. The frilled shark is considered to be near threatened with extinction. We're very lucky these things stay below. Would you swim if this shark could come near the shore? Most people would probably give up swimming altogether, don't you think? Let us know your opinion down below. Now it's time for today's topic. In April 2025, a research team from Norway's Institute of Marine Research ventured into the Arctic Circle to study glacial melt and shifting marine ecosystems. While navigating a remote fjord near Svalbard, the crew aboard a small inflatable boat encountered something beyond comprehension, a gigantic, shark-like creature surfacing silently between drifting ice sheets. At first, they assumed it was a humpback whale or a Greenland shark, but as the animal rose, its massive, gaping maw lined with jagged crimson teeth sent waves of panic through the crew. The beast measured at least 60 feet long, with thick, striped skin resembling ancient fossil records of the prehistoric helicoprion, a species thought to be extinct for over 270 million years. The encounter was captured by onboard drones and sonar, which registered unusual magnetic disturbances in the water. Marine biologists reviewing the footage say the creature does not match any known classification, fueling speculation of a living fossil lurking in the deep. The team was ordered to return to base immediately. Authorities have since restricted access to the area, sparking viral theories ranging from deep-sea mutations to government cover-ups. Is this a survivor from Earth's ancient oceans, or something entirely new? Number 10. Sea pig. Finally, a name of a sea creature that does not sound creepy or dangerous. The sea pig is a type of sea cucumber that walks on the deepest ocean floor using hydraulically operated tube feet. We doubt you've ever heard of a walking fish before. The sea pig is one of the most abundant animals found on the abyssal plain. These unusual sea cucumbers walk around the seafloor on large tube feet, which keep them from sinking into the soft mud. Scientists believe the sea pig can smell its way to food. With its body about 4 to 6 inches long, they are related to starfish and sea urchins. Sea pigs live in some of the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean. They have water-filled, weak bodies that nearly disintegrate when brought up from these massive depths, ranging anywhere from 4,000 to 16,000 feet below the surface. For those reasons, they're very difficult to study. Luckily, deep-sea predators don't try to eat the sea pigs because their skin is laced with poison. That said, they do have some rather alarming parasites consuming their flesh from the inside out. This is a gross creature, but at least we don't have to worry about these tiny and fragile pigs. Number 9. Viperfish. The name of this fish really makes you scared right from the start. So let's learn more about them and hope they're not as dangerous as they sound. The Pacific viperfish looks like a fearsome predator, at least to small fish and shrimp, but in the deep sea, everyone is on the menu and needs to adapt ways to avoid becoming dinner. They're among the countless marine animals that migrate each night from the ocean's depths to shallower surface waters to eat, then go back down again. Their needle-like teeth are key to their hunting strategy. The 2 front fangs extend far from the fish's bottom jaw, up past its eyes. By releasing their jaws, their mouths can open wide enough to eat large prey items. The terrifying teeth form a cage to prevent escape while the prey is swallowed whole. The advantages of having fangs like these are more important than you might think. There's little hope for escape from those jaws. Viperfish are found in tropical and temperate waters throughout the world at depths of up to 2,800 meters. They're rarely seen by humans, although specimens do sometimes show up in the catches of deep-water nets. These rare catches provide scientists with special opportunities to study this unique animal. Because they live in such deep waters, it's believed that human activity has very little impact on their populations. You really wouldn't want your hand to get stuck in its mouth. On second thought, let's move on before we give you some nightmares. Number 8. Basket star. A trip to the grocery store usually requires a basket to hold all those groceries, but a relative of the well-known sea star doesn't need to grab a basket to hold its groceries. It already has one. The basket star is found in cold to warm waters in both the northern and southern hemispheres, normally at depths of no more than a few hundred feet. It's found on the west coast of the United States down to California. It prefers a rocky seafloor in a spot with a pretty strong current. During the day, they coil up into a tight ball, hiding in crevices to avoid predators like fish and crabs. At night, their arms unroll like delicate tendrils of a living net, stretching out in mesmerizing spirals. These arms can split and resplit many times, making a single basket star look like a tangle of living thread. The more food drifting in the current, the more animated their movement becomes, almost like a strange underwater dance. Scientists have even observed them capturing multiple prey at once with different arms. Despite their fragile appearance, their limbs are surprisingly strong and coordinated. If a limb is damaged or lost, basket stars can regenerate it over time. Their bodies don't rely on a central brain, but instead use a nerve ring and radial nerves to coordinate movements. Basket stars are suspension feeders, which means that as darkness comes on, they unfold their net-like arms, positioning themselves to access the current and snatch edibles as they pass by. Unlike planktivores that specialize in microscopic food particles, basket stars go for small mollusks, jellyfish, crustaceans like shrimp, and similar prey. Their arms are lined with hooks and spines that constantly wave and coil to grab prey, wrapping around its victim, encasing it in threads of mucus, and passing it along its tube feet to the animal's mouth to devour. Who knows? Maybe in the future this will be used as a grocery bag. Never mind, that's a very gross thought, but at least you'd look like you're from the future, right? Number 7. Blood bellycomb jelly. If the name of a jellyfish has blood and belly in it, you know this has to be something fascinating. Deep-sea ships have turned up a lot of odd-looking jellyfish over the years, but the blood bellycomb jelly might take the cake for that. Not only does the blob of the deep have a haunting name, but it also looks like an alien that would take over humanity. This sparkling, deep ocean-looking fireball is called the comb jelly for short. All comb jellies have 8 rows of hair-like apparatuses used for swimming and eating. But what sets the blood belly apart is its striking deep red stomach, which seems to glow ominously from the inside. Scientists believe this red coloration may help mask the light emitted by bioluminescent prey it consumes, acting like natural camouflage from predators. Unlike true jellyfish, comb jellies don't sting. They trap prey with sticky cells called colloblasts. They can devour small crustaceans and zooplankton with surprising speed for something so ghostly and delicate. Some specimens have been seen fluttering like a ribbon in the darkness, pulsing with flashes of color. Their bodies are almost entirely made of water, yet they move with eerie control. When caught in submersible lights, the creature's shimmering appearance can hypnotize observers. It's no wonder these jellies are often mistaken for sentient life forms from another world. White light comes from these beating comb rows, producing a rainbow display. All of this makes the animal very bright. These beat continuously as a form of propulsion. In the deep sea, the jelly is nearly invisible, and red animals appear black and blend into the dark background. The final characteristic of these jellyfish is their size. It's only 6 inches long, which is kind of relieving to hear after seeing these nightmare-inducing creatures. What do you think about the blood bellycomb jelly? Is this the most insane sea creature you've ever seen? Or have you witnessed something far more bizarre? Let us know down below. Number 6. Coffin fish. These fish sadly do not look like coffins, but wouldn't that be interesting? Who knows? Maybe one like that is somewhere lurking undiscovered. Coffin fish are thought to be trying to save energy by holding oxygenated water and not actively pumping it across their gills. Like all coffin fish, this deep-sea creature has 2 massive gill chambers on either side of the head that can hold a large volume of water. They belong to the anglerfish family, and yes, they also have a lure, a tiny rod-like structure on their heads used to attract prey in complete darkness. Their skin is often covered in tiny sensory pores to help detect movement in the pitch-black environment. They're not fast swimmers, which is why they rely on ambush tactics and clever defense strategies. When threatened, the fish inflates dramatically to make itself appear much larger and more intimidating to predators. Their bloated appearance when puffed up is what earned them the coffin nickname. More puffy and weird than terrifying, but still unsettling. Some researchers say they resemble a deflated balloon when they're relaxed, just slowly wobbling along the seabed. They feed on small crustaceans, worms, and unsuspecting fish that pass a little too close. Since food is scarce at such depths, they've evolved to go days or even weeks without eating. Their slow metabolism and energy-conserving methods make them ideal survivors in the harsh abyss. The fish inflates by 30% body volume and then holds its breath until it's ready to exhale. You don't really have to be fearful of even coming across one of these creatures because coming face to face with one is simply impossible. The reason is that they live at the bottom of the ocean at depths ranging from 50 to 2,500 meters deep. The pressure for human beings at this depth is simply not possible to withstand. These deep-sea creatures are quite special when it comes to their appearance, habitat, diet, and defense mechanisms. Everything about them is much different from other sea animals. They might just be one of the strangest fish, thanks to their ability to walk with their fins on the ocean floor. Number 5. Bobbit Worm. You don't want to judge these on first look because they have a scary secret under all that sand. Sand strikers, also known as bobbit worms, are primitive-looking creatures that lack eyes or even a brain. They're still savage predators who shoot out grapple-like hooks to reel in passing fish. Bobbit worms are creepy. They look pretty small as they lurk buried in the sand, waiting to snatch prey. They're equipped with razor-sharp mandibles capable of slicing prey clean in half in a fraction of a second. Once a victim is caught, the worm drags it into the sand with terrifying speed, often before the prey can even struggle. Divers have described the attack as happening faster than a blink. These worms are virtually invisible until the moment they strike, thanks to their perfect camouflage and buried bodies. Their bristles can cause severe irritation if touched, which is why divers are warned never to poke into reef sands. Some have even been accidentally transported into home aquariums inside live rocks, where they proceeded to eat other fish at night, unnoticed for months. Their ability to regenerate damaged body parts adds another bizarre layer to their list of alien-like traits. And despite their lack of traditional sensory organs, they somehow locate prey with stunning accuracy. The more we learn about them, the more they seem like monsters from deep-sea nightmares. Growing up to 3 meters in length, the ambush predator buries its long body in the sand, leaving only its mouth poking out. At night, it spreads wide its jaws and 5 antennae and lurks. Any unlucky animal, whatever it may be, fish or shrimp, snail or squid, that triggers the antennae will find itself instantly attacked by a lunging pair of jaws at the end of a rainbow-colored tube. We don't know how they reproduce, why they even have rainbow coloration, how long they live, how fast they grow, or how abundant they are. For such a well-known worm, we still know very little. Hate to leave you with the thought of a tropical ocean filled with 10-foot-long worms with hair-trigger jaws, but that's definitely happening at this very moment. Number 4. Goblin Shark. Goblins and sharks are both terrifying to many people, so we're lucky this shark is not easy to run into. The very odd-looking shark has a uniquely shaped snout and an impressive array of long, pointed teeth. The fish, however, is found in deep water and poses no real threat to humans. Goblin sharks have only rarely been observed and almost never filmed, so most of scientists' knowledge of the shark is a result of their accidental capture in fisheries targeting other creatures. They're often described as living fossils because their lineage dates back around 125 million years. Their pinkish, translucent skin gives them a ghostly appearance, a result of visible blood vessels under the skin due to their lack of pigmentation. Their long, flattened snout, called a rostrum, is packed with electroreceptors to help them detect prey in the pitch-black ocean depths. Unlike most sharks, their jaws are highly protrusible, meaning they can launch their mouth forward in an instant to capture prey. This jaw-snapping action is so fast it's often compared to a spring-loaded trap. The way they feed is so startling that many first-time viewers think they're watching a horror animation. They usually inhabit depths between 300 and 1,300 meters, where sunlight doesn't reach. Their sluggish movements and soft body structure suggest they're ambush predators rather than fast chasers. Very little is known about their reproductive behavior, and no one has ever documented a goblin shark giving birth. They're believed to be active predators and take some fish as well as squid. When hunting, they identify prey below their sensitive rostrum and extend their jaws far from their mouths to snatch whatever they find. When feeding in this way, they look more like something out of a scary film than a shark. The goblin shark is not fished commercially and is only rarely captured accidentally in fisheries targeting other species. Based on a recent analysis, scientists believe the goblin shark to be a species of least concern. Do you think sharks get a bad rep for being dangerous to humans? Or is it deserved? Let us know in the comments. Number 3. Brittle Sea Star. These sea stars pretty much look like aliens, so good thing they're not seen often. There are about 2,000 species of brittle stars, which are close relatives of sea stars. They consist of 2 major groups, brittle stars and basket stars. Most are found at depths greater than 500 meters to greater than 6 kilometers. They normally move slowly along the seabed. Most brittle stars have 5 long, slender, whip-like arms, which can be 60 centimeters in length in the largest species, although most are under 2.5 centimeters in diameter. These arms are extremely fragile and can easily break off when handled or threatened. But don't worry, they grow back. They often use this breakaway tactic to escape predators like fish and crabs. Some species even exhibit color variations depending on their environment, ranging from pale white to deep purple. Their delicate skeletal structure is made of calcium carbonate plates called ossicles, which give them their flexibility. Despite their eerie appearance, brittle stars play a crucial role in benthic ecosystems by recycling organic matter. They usually become mature at around 2 years, become fully grown in 3 to 4 years, and live up to 5 years. They do not depend on tube feet, which are more sensory tentacles without suction. Brittle stars move pretty quickly by wriggling their arms, which are highly flexible and enable the animals to make either snake-like movements. The animals are sometimes known as the garbage collectors of the sea, and are one of the few species that occur in abundance from the tropics to Antarctica. Some are small-scale scavengers, others are more predatory. The stars show that the freezing deep sea below Antarctica was an evolutionary hotspot, overturning previous thoughts that the cold temperatures had slowed the pace of evolution. Most brittle stars are scavengers, eating decaying matter and plankton. Some are predators, pushing their stomachs out through their mouths to digest their prey. Basket stars are suspension feeders, using the mucus coating on their arms to trap plankton and bacteria. They extend one arm out and use the other 4 to keep them in place. Number 2. Black Sea Devil Anglerfish. Could these fish be the spawn of the devil? Well, you can answer for yourself once you see what these look like. What makes the Black Sea Devil a deep-sea mystery is that there is less known information about it than the elusive giant squid. Fewer than half a dozen of these fish have ever been recorded swimming in their undersea habitat. They live at depths of over 2,000 meters, where sunlight never reaches and pressure would crush most surface-dwelling creatures. Their grotesque appearance has earned them a spot in many lists of the ocean's most terrifying animals. Despite their small size, their presence is anything but subtle. They look like floating nightmares. Scientists have only recently been able to capture one on camera in its natural environment using deep-sea submersible. That single video clip caused a sensation among marine biologists who had never observed one swimming freely before. Because they live in such an extreme part of the ocean, studying their behavior is incredibly difficult and expensive. It's believed that their slow, almost still movements conserve energy in a place where food is scarce. And yet, they can strike with lightning speed if something edible crosses their path. Their bioluminescent lure is produced by symbiotic bacteria, just like many other deep-sea creatures. A female black sea devil can grow to be about the size of a baseball. The males are even smaller and are actually more of a parasite than a fish. In order to survive, the males must bite into the female. Their tissues will fuse together, and the male mates while the female sustains the male. They have a gaping mouth, needle-sharp teeth, a slightly startled look, and a lure on top of their head that glows to help them detect prey. It's unknown if there is a pattern for the illumination or if the light is continuously kept on. They can be on forever, right? They probably need a quick recharge like a phone. Number 1. Giant Isopod. Giant isopods do not seem like something you would want to run into, right? What are isopods? Well, after this, you'll know for sure. These unique animals inhabit the depths of every ocean. They're a diverse family with animals on land and in the sea. They're the largest species of the isopod family. Despite their interesting looks and their decent size, not much else is known about them. We know where they live, but these strange animals have yet to be the focus of studies and are still somewhat of a mystery to science despite being first discovered in 1879. There are a lot of animals living on the seabed that seem odd to us on land. Giant isopods can live 500 meters or more below the ocean surface, but these 14-legged beasts are relatives of the little woodlice you might find in the garden and are distant cousins. They can grow over 2 feet long and weigh several pounds, making them look like armored sea tanks. Researchers have even found that they can go years without eating if food is scarce. In captivity, some have survived over 5 years without a single full meal. Their metabolism slows dramatically in the cold, high-pressure environment of the deep sea. This extreme adaptability might explain how they've persisted for millions of years. Resources are scarce in the depths of the ocean. Isopods rely on food falling from closer to the surface, as the seafloor is mostly barren. Sometimes, big parcels of food reach the seabed, such as whale carcasses. From what we know so far, they're not as fierce as they look. They're scavengers and would eat any of the falling marine snow and what's wrapped up in it, things like crab flesh and marine worms. Not only does the deep offer small amounts of food, there's also a lack of light. The isopods have sensory adaptations to help them navigate in the dark. The deeper you go, the less light there is. They have a large sensory organ so that they can feel their way around. Giant isopods also have very large eyes in comparison to their body. The isopods also have little hooked claws at the ends of their legs. These make the animal more stable on the ocean floor. They might not be very dangerous, but if these were crawling all over you, it wouldn't be fun. Hopefully, none of these sea monsters gave you too much of a scare. Fingers crossed you never come face to face with any of them in real life. Which deep-sea creature was your favorite? And which one creeped you out the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up and hit subscribe for more awesome content from Thought Trail. Thanks for watching. See you next time.